All right, today you are going to learn about Adobe Premiere Pro, and it is the video editor that we will use throughout the remainder of your time with me. It is pro level, it is big boy, big girl stuff. So when I first open it, you're going to probably get a little intimidated, but don't. Just learn the basics. That's all you're going to do over the next several days. So we're going to go to Launchpad, and we're going to you will go to Google Classroom. I'm going to go to Google Drive, and you will download the footage that you need. So we're going to do FMX Remix 1, and I'm going to download it real quick while Premiere is opening. And it's still downloading. There it is. So basically this is the video we're going to edit today. It's freestyle motocross. I use these primarily because there's a very definitive thing that happens throughout, and that is a motorcycle jumping. And today what you are going to do is edit out any of the footage that has the motorcycle on the ground. So see, you will edit this out to right there. And we will go over how to do that as soon as Premiere Pro opens. Again, it's a big boy, big girl program. If you see here, it's loading in a bunch of stuff to get it ready to be used for what we're going to do. We're going to use Premiere Pro this week to basically learn some simple edits. Later in the week, you're going to go shoot some stuff and edit it and drop in some graphics. So it's going to be a busy week, a week of pretty intense learning. But once you get the basics of importing footage, clipping the ends of it, and then adding a small graphic, you're going to be surprised at how easy that is and how easy it is to make things look really good on TV with very minimal work. And we're going to start using your work in the broadcast as early as this week with graphics and that kind of stuff. So you'll be good to go. So this is what the system's going to look like when you first open it. So we're going to close that. You won't have this recent stuff, all right? But you will go to New Project. Premiere Pro is different from all other softwares that you have used because it requires you to tell it where to save and what to call it first. Folder in Adobe, and then from there. So I always save mine to my desktop on these, and that's really all you have to change on here. You don't have to change any of this other stuff, so click OK. And this is where most people get a little intimidated, because when it opens up, it looks like this, and there's all this stuff. Skip over this. Click on Assembly. So this is where all of your files will be stored. This is what you will see, and this is where we edit. So I've already downloaded my file, as you saw earlier. So I'm going to double-click. See, it says Import Media to start. So I'm going to double-click here, FMX Remix 1, and it's going to bring that file in. Now, nothing has changed. See there? But you can see the file, and if you want to change the view, you can do that. You can do all kinds of silly things to make it better or worse for you. The way we're going to edit this today, and you see that I'm dragging these around because I want to change the way it looks, we're just going to drag this to the sequence. And what that's going to do is create a video. It's going to create a timeline for us. So this is the sequence, and it has video, see V1, and audio 1. And if you play through, you'll see that it's got video and audio. And I'm going to mute the audio because we don't need it. That's not our concern for today. And your task is to create a video that's just motorcycles in the air. So how do you do that? So you're going to play it through. Spacebar is play. And you're going to use the C button and the V button to shortcut to do some different stuff. C is for cut, V is for select. And I remember V because it looks like the cursor. So it looks like an upside down cursor. So I'm going to play through this, and I'm looking for when he gets on the motorcycle. I just want motorcycles in the air. That's all I want in this video. None of this stuff, none of the motorcycle on the ground at all. So motorcycle still on the ground, still on the ground. Now we're coming to a jump, and I hit spacebar to stop it. And you can use your arrow keys to go forward one frame at the time. So the motorcycle is still on the ground there, one more frame, and it's off the ground. So I'm going to hit C, and watch what happens to my cursor here. C. Now a razor blade looking thing comes up, and it won't let me cut there because there's nothing to cut, but if I come right there, and I put it right on the blue line, that blue line is called the current time indicator. Okay, it cut. See that it made two pieces there, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see. There's a cut right there. I'm going to hit V for my selection tool. I'm going to select the stuff that I don't want, and I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard. Now there's this big black space here we don't want. I'm going to click there and hit delete as well. And what that does is that moves it to the beginning of the timeline. Okay, so we're going to go back and double check, and again I'm just using the arrows, and I think that bike is off the ground there. We're going to let that go. Going to play through, and again spacebar plays. Okay, that one's off the ground as well. Right now you're thinking, hey White, the bike's off the ground the whole time. No, it's not, because there we go, first clip where it's on the ground. So going to go to where we see the bike the first time, hit C again for cut. We're going to play it through, and we know, and I hit spacebar again to stop it and start it. He's still on the ground there, kind of. We're going to count that on the ground, and we've made another cut. See, now we've cut two pieces because we need to cut this piece out. So again, select it with the V and then click on it, and then hit delete, and then select that and delete that, and you're going to see that this goes from in the air to in the air. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Yep, he's on the ground. See that? That's how finite you need to be. That's how. So I'm going to click C and then click that where my current time indicator is and use my arrow keys. That's the first frame where he's off the ground, and there's that little bitty sliver right there. That matters. We'll watch it. I'll show you a video clip where you can see that 1 or 2 frames actually matters every time. And what I'm doing is I'm adjusting these so I can get in here to this space and delete that. And then I'm going to pull these back out a little bit. So bikes are still in the air. I'm going to do this the entire time. Okay, so this is not a motorcycle in the air. So I'm going to back up using my arrow keys. That's a motorcycle in the air, and so I'm going to cut right here. Okay, he's driving, still on the ground. Now, this is where Mr. White's a mean jerk sometimes. Watch how many times this motorcycle goes off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 3 times. So we have to cut all of that part where he's on the ground out. If you use your up and down arrow keys, up goes back to the previous cut. So now I'm going to play through this, and he's coming up to the jump now, and he is off the ground. So we're going to cut, select this piece we want to get rid of with a motorcycle on the ground, hit delete, select that space, and then I'm going to hit the up arrow to get back to where I was. Now, because it's so tight on this cut, I'm just going to use my arrows, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's back on the ground. Going to cut, again, arrows, paste through, and cut. Go ahead and get rid of that piece I don't want, because if you don't, you're going to be confused later. Go ahead and knock it out now. Delete the space in between. And here we go again. He's on the air, and now he's down. So cut. Going to play it through. Know he's on the air, in the air there, so I'm going to cut. Get rid of that little piece. And yes, you do have to get this tight when you're editing things, because it does matter. Okay, so he is on the ground there. So we're going to cut and play through. Still on the ground, still on the ground. Now we're going to use the arrow keys. He is in the air for sure there. Got to cut. But I will tell you that your final video is going to be about 1 minute and 6 seconds from originally over 3 minutes. So that's your goal, is to go through and get rid of any time the motorcycle is on the ground. Your final product will look something like this, just motorcycles in the air. All right. Command S is your friend in everything Adobe. That is your save. So once you have it saved on your desktop and you have it named, just hit Command S as you're going through. If you don't, I guarantee you something bad will happen. It will not end well for you, and you'll be upset and you'll go, Mr. White, it's not fair. Command S is your friend. All right, so have fun with this. Premiere Pro is a lot of fun, especially once you dig down into it and get going with it. So there you go. That's Premiere Pro. So now go to your Google Classroom, download this footage, and begin cutting. Remember, C is cut, V is select, spacebar plays, and your arrows will nudge one frame forward and backward, or up and down will go to your previous cut or back. All right, cool. We'll go make it awesome.